This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. NOT version. History merely repeats itself. It has all been done before. Nothing under the sun is truly new. Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the name who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai is his son who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Brakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And citation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai's sake. I'm Brother Samak from the GMS Miami camp. And yes, the reason why I brought out the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 9, is that I came across this article today. I'm pretty sure brothers have seen it because the article came out January 7, 2026. But when I saw the headline, it reminded me of Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9, because this is nothing new, all right? Regarding more deaths than births ratio in an empire, okay? Do you know what empire, okay, had this similar situation happen to them? I'll give you a hint, okay? The Messiah was born when this empire was ruling. Rome, okay? Rome, all right? Let's bring out the facts, because we had Great Millstone through the Spirit and Power of Yahweh B'Shem Shai. We prove all things, as the scriptures say. So I asked ChatGPT, in Rome, was there a decline in Roman native population, forcing immigrants into the country to keep the economy going? The answer, yeah. That idea is basically right, but it needs some tightening so it doesn't turn into a modern meme projected onto ancient Rome. Whatever that means, okay? Short version, without being lazy about it, Rome absolutely faced a long-term decline in its native citizen population, especially in Italy, and relied heavily on non-Roman people, slaves, provincials. You know, what's that word? This is a nice $100 word. Concerning a province or country or an empire. Right. Rome, when they conquer particular nations or countries, they turn into a province, right? Well, let's look at a Roman map, okay? An ancient Roman map. Provide ancient Roman map at the height of rulership. At the height of the empire, the empire encompassed roughly 5 million square kilometers, about 2.3 million square miles from across Europe, North Africa, and West Asia, okay? So that was a lot of conquering, all right? And a lot of these major locations became provinces. Okay, a lot of these let's pull some up. Bear me one moment. Maybe I can pull this map up right here. Give me let's blow this up right here. All right, yeah, like Egypt, right? Okay. Okay, block. Nope. Got Asia Minor, okay? You got North Africa. So these were what's going on here? Whoa. There we go. Again, this is at the height of the Roman Empire. So naturally, if the natural born Roman isn't populating, they're going to get immigrants from the nations that Rome conquered, okay? And the ones that are now have become a providence, like Egypt or Judea. Okay, ooh, this is a lesson within lessons. All right, now you know, okay, when you read the book Cornelius, right, in the book, not the book of Cornelius, Salakia, I'm excited. The book of Acts, chapter 10. Cornelius, right? You know, lessons within lessons. Acts chapter 10. There was a certain man in Caesarea. All right, this is in the state of Judea. Caesarea was a town in Judea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band, right? Because he was part of the Roman army. Okay. All right. Let's see what it says in the NLT version. Does it? Yep. Here it is. In Caesarea, there lived a Roman army officer named Cornelius, who was a captain of the Italian regiment. Boom. All right. And Cornelius is an Israelite. All right. And you see that today. You see a lot of a lot of Israelites. Okay, in the military, in the police force. Okay, in ICE. All right. See Jake and ICE too. You see that. All right. So yeah, nothing new under the sun. And again, all right. This proves. All right. This proves that America is on a decline. All right. Just like Rome is on a decline. Okay. That was a sign. So, native citizen population. That's talking about the Edomite American is not populating. Okay. It makes sense. A lot of Edomite men are not bearing children. They're either moes or they disconnected from getting with a woman because they know that the Edomite woman is against him. That's how you know these Edomites are done, okay? Because they know that Edomite woman would take them to court and take them for everything they have. Especially in Italy, and relied heavily on non-Roman people, slaves, provincials, meaning the providence, migrants, and later barbarians to keep the economy, all right? The economy, all right? Army and state functioning, but it wasn't one single moment. It unfolded over centuries and the causes were layered, okay? What was one major cause? Endless wars hollowed out Roman families. Nothing new under the sun. Didn't Donald Trump said that America is engaged in forever wars? All right, boom. Okay, this is how we walk you down in prophecy. This is how we can correlate that America is Rome 2.0. America is the extended Roman Empire. Okay, America does everything Rome did to a T, man. Okay, from inflating the currency. All right, having migrants or slaves do all the hospitality and leisure positions. Okay, who's in hospitality and leisure? What predominant group of people? The Israelites. All right, you know what? Let me show you something. Because hospitality and leisure is just a nice way of saying slave. All right, hospitality and leisure industry. Okay, let's see this. What group? Let's do it. Ethnicity dominates. Okay, make up most of the hospitality and leisure industry, right? And this is the hospitality and leisure industry: food, beverage, travel, and recreation. Okay, who is working those? Okay, as slaves, the slave wage, because that's what this is. It's a fucking slave wage. Let's see if. Oh, this is horse shit. White Indians make up the largest portion of U.S. hospitality and leisure industry. All right. Nah, this is they cooking the books with this one. That's bullshit. Yeah, see, that's why you got to look deep. Check this out. Regional differences. In specific regions like Central Florida, over 62% of hospitality workforce identifies as either a Southern Kingdom or Northern Kingdom. Here we go. Yeah, you gotta read because Esau tries to cook the books. All right. If that's the case, then why are you having a low birth rate? All right. If you make up majority of the hospitality and leisure, okay. So there you go. Says while diverse at entry level leadership roles are dominated by Edomites, naturally the slave, okay, the manager, which is the task manager, the slave owner, and low representation of black leaders. That's right. Okay, it's always Esau at the top of the hospitality, okay, and leisure, while Jake is the one, okay, busting their ass. All right. Yeah, I'm not going off of this. This is bullshit. Okay, this is the real facts right here. Central Florida. There you go. Okay, so that proves, okay, that it's nothing new under the sun. The prophecies are speaking. Okay, and again, these forever wars, okay, are killing mainly Edomites. Okay, because they're the ones out there fighting the wars. Okay. So the endless wars allowed out Roman families from the Punic Wars onward. Roman males were constantly mobilized. High casualty rates, long campaigns equal fewer men returning to start families. Right. Okay. That 20-year Afghan and Iraq war, man. Okay. That stopped a lot of Edomite men from bearing children. Okay. And again, why would you bear children when you're out at war? Okay, for years on end, and then your woman is sleeping with Jake. I've seen it. I was in the military, Colorado Springs. Okay, those that know about Colorado Springs, that is a military town. All right, and when one unit, they had an old saying, when the one unit leaves, the wedding ring goes off that night, and the married wives are in the clubs in Colorado Springs. Okay, getting smashed by some military unit that didn't leave. All right, that was what's going on in Colorado Springs. All right, the adultery was out of order. Okay, that was going on in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Fort Carson, Colorado. Okay, adultery, cesspool. Okay, I know that personally. Point is though, is that that's the reason why Edomites weren't bearing children. Okay, and now it's showing. The numbers are showing. But Jake, Negroes, Latinos, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the Americans, the Israelites, they're pumping babies out left and right. All right, so yeah. So the hit small land-holding citizens the hardest. By the late Republic, Italy had fewer citizen farmers and more empty countryside. Urban decay and low birth rate among citizens. Roman elites didn't want large families. Children diluted inheritance. All right, you see a lot of these rich Edomites, they don't even like giving their children inheritance. They give it to their dog, or they give it to their butler or something. Okay? Augustus literally passed pro-birth laws because citizens weren't reproducing. Oh, didn't Donald Trump pass $1,000 tax credit for bringing a child into this funky cesspool? Why would you want to bring children in here anyway? You got pedos running it. Okay? That steal children. There's, okay, child sex rings going on. Why the fuck would you bring children into this world? All right? If you're an Edomite. Okay, but however, Jake gonna pop babies out. All right, and if they're part of the elect, they're gonna be protected by the Lord. Let's see. What was I wanted to put in? Oh, Trump tax credit for childbirth. Yeah, under the 2026 One Big Beautiful Bill Act, children born between January 1st, 2025 and December 31st, 2020 are eligible for a $1,000 Trump account contribution. This federally funded invested account requires parents to file Form 4547 to claim the seed money, which is designed to grow for the child's future with additional contributions permitted. Right. So basically, this is an incentive to get these Edomites to pop babies out. Okay. The Trump account. All right. Basically, if you bring a child into this world, all right, they hand them 1,000, but they can't touch it. I think they can't touch it till what? Till they turn 18, right? Can contribute up to 5,000 annually. The funds are intended for long-term growth and can be accessed by the child at the age 18 for specific purposes like education or starting a business. There you go. All right, so this is an incentive for Edomites to pop babies out. All right, same thing. All right, and that right there is ridiculous, because you think this economy is going to last another 18 years? No, it's not. This country is in perpetual debt. It's engaged in forever wars. Okay, you're as hello. Okay, you're not. By you doing this now, you're too late. It said 2030. Okay, and then if you go to war with Iran, your Edomite population is going to dwindle. Okay, even more. So you're cooked. So it says the fact that the state had to legally bribe people to have kids tells you a lot, right? So this is actually what Lex Julia, Lex Papaya. August literally passed pro-birth law because citizens weren't reproducing. And Elon Musk been screaming to the on top of the hill, okay, wanting the birth rates to increase. He's like, you got to have more kids. Then you have an Edomite. You have Edomites going viral. They're like, you gotta bring kids into this world. You gotta bring our race back into this world. We're declining. Yep. Latifundia wiped out citizens. Farmers, wealthy elites bought up land, giant estates worked by slaves, not citizens. Displaced Romans flooded cities, became dependent on grain doles. Isn't that what we're seeing? A lot of Americans can't get a home. Okay, they can't get a house. All right, they're in these cities on top of each other. This destroyed a self-reproducing citizen class, right? Because these apartments, okay, are not healthy for raising a family. To raise a family, you want to have a house, a single family unit, house with land, okay, a little bit of land, okay. You want to be at a distance from your next door neighbor, okay. Not on top of each other in projects, okay? That's how you know this man's going down, because all right, this man is going down. And again, project buildings are a terrible idea, and that's how you know this devil needs to go, because, all right, that's not how people are supposed to live. People are supposed to have their own plot of land, all right, and be able to raise their family on it. Not in buildings, okay? That's why this devil he has to go. Esau, Edom, Soka Whiteman got to go. He cannot manage his earth correctly. You cannot, the scriptures say about joining house to house. That's off, right? Join house to house. Yeah, Isaiah chapter 5 verse 8. Woe, meaning death and destruction unto them that join house to house, that lay field to field, till there be no place that they may be placed alone in the midst of the earth. You see that? Okay, people are on top of each other. That's why there's psychological issues. All right, there's all these there's assaults. Okay, there's verbal abuse. Neighbors fighting against neighbors. Okay, you got murderers in the projects. Got serial killers in the projects. All right. This is wicked. That's why America got to go, because it's wicked. The whole system is wicked. But hey, this proves that these devils are going. All right, they're not able to produce, and that's a sign of their enemies. Well, I got the scripture right here. Where's it at? Proverbs chapter 21 verse 12. The righteous man wisely considered the house of the wicked. Right. If you have spiritual eyes, you can see that these Edomites are done. America's finished. Okay. They're not able to reproduce anymore. But the Most High overthroweth the wicked for the wickedness, right? And that's the reason why. Because they're wicked. They're not right. They're not blessed. It's clearly proof that these Edomites have lost their blessing. Now the curses are falling on them. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 7. And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. This is a fact that these Edomites are cursed. Okay? More Americans will die than be born in 2030. CBO predicts. Okay? If you don't know what CBO means, Congressional Budget Office. All right? They're the ones that document the demographic outlook. All right? And they're saying, and by 2030 marks a tipping point that will fundamentally reshape the economy and social fabric. That's the year the natural U.S. population, the balance of births over death, is projected to vanish. There you go. It's projected. But guess what? All right? I believe they're cooking the books. It's happening now. All right? But hey, 2030. This devil knows he has a short time. That's why things are moving fast, man. All right? That chip is coming. All right? Right now, we just got to see how they what they do. Is it a cyber attack? They take out the power, which it looks like that's what they're looking to do. Take out the power, okay? To do what they call a great reset, okay? Get the and then turn it back on, and then here's the digital prison is laid out. No more physical cash, and then they're gonna start pushing that chip, the RFID chip. Okay, that's all it takes, man. A calamity, and boom. Microchip, RFID chip comes hard hitting in your face. So I also want to bring this out too. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 7. The just man walketh in his integrity. This proves that the just man, okay, cannot be these Edomites. His children are blessed, are after him, right? And that's proof, okay? Because if they were just, okay, people, then their children will be blessed. Okay, then they will be blessed as a people, and they're not. Okay, they're lacking children. They're lacking births. Whenever you see, again, whenever you see American, it's code word for E-dump, because so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right, are popping out babies left and right. They still producing babies. Okay, because that's part of the blessing. Okay, this is nothing new under the sun. Okay, whenever Jake's afflicted, Jake always produces more children. All right, just like what happened in Egypt. All right, and this is spiritual Egypt and Sodom. Okay, as well as Rome 2.0. So let me see if there's any more on this. Massive slave inflows, yeah. So there you go. Ran farms, built infrastructure, worked mines, powered the economy. Ironically, slaves often had more children than the free Roman citizens. Isn't that Jake? Isn't that the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American? All right, working at these hospitality and leisures, aka the modern, okay, slave. Because again, when you go to any hotel or any restaurant, okay, or any theme park, like over here in Florida, okay, notice it, and I'm glad they brought out regional Florida, because that's where Walt Disney, Universal Studios, and several other theme parks. Okay, do you know who's working in those theme parks? Jake. Okay, Jake is the reason why. All right, that fucking area is still hustle and bustle. All right, because if Jake stopped working, hey, goodbye, fucking Orlando. Orlando will be a fucking a zombie land. Okay. But it's Jake that works in. I've seen it personally. I've been to Walt Disney. I've been to Universal Studio. Okay, and I've seen Jake, the one manning and operating the concession stands, the rides, everything. Okay, security. Okay, Edomites. The Edomites that you see there are the ones that are enjoying the time. That are and here's another thing. It ain't the American Edomites that are all up in there. It's the European Edomites and the Australian Edomites and the Russian Edomites, okay, that have money. They're the only ones up in there. It's tourists, okay. And then you see Moab and Ammon. They're all up in there too. You see mainly foreigners all up in these Walt Disney festivities. Okay, You don't see the average American, because average American is broke, okay? And he ain't popping out babies like that, okay? And that's talking about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. So yeah, I think that's it. Oh, one more. Got to bring out Edom will be humbled, and this is it. Edom is a so-called white man. If you didn't know, now you know. Nukkah. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 1. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord God concerning Edom. We have heard the rumor from the Lord Yahweh, an ambassador sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Right, and that's what's happening, man. These heathen nations are rising up against these Edomites, more specifically America. Okay? America, it has a bullseye on its back, man, by all these heathens. 2, behold, I made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Right. Not only you're small, okay, in numbers, you're insignificant. And the Lord set that up purposely, all right, for your downfall. 3, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee. Thou that dwells in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down? And you're being brought down. The fact that you can't populate, the fact that you are literally, okay, losing the numbers, proves that you're being brought down. You're not blessed. You're cursed. 4, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. Right. And the moment you made that lie that you went to the moon, all right, was it 1969, right? The so-called moon landing, which was faked by Stanley Kubrick, and that's why you clipped his ass, all right? Because you didn't want him to speak out against it. And then, of course, he did the movie Eyes Wide Shut, which basically revealed that America's always been ran by sick, twisted, pedo Edomites, okay? But since then, you've been going down, okay? And then, of course, the truth, starting with Abba Bivens, bringing out who the true biblical Hebrew Israelites are. All right, that was around that time frame. That's it, you know. So, yeah, this is nothing new under the sun. History repeats itself. This is Rome 2.0, okay? And if you have spiritual eyes, you can see America's done. These Edomites are done. All right, and this proves that we're almost out of here. We're just waiting for that RFID chip, the mark of the beast, and it's coming. Something's going to happen. It looks like this year, something major is going to happen with this economy, that they're going to flip the switch, all right? And then everything's going to be on, going digital, using your phone, all right? Dollars are going to be obsolete. And then they'll start marketing the RFID chip, just like they marketed the crypto, okay? The whole blockchain crypto, and now that it's here to stay, and now they're going to pass a law on it. It looks like they might pass it next week, or they might pass it on the solar annual eclipse as a ritual, because there's a solar annual eclipse, and usually around the solar annual eclipse, the market always favors. It always goes up. All right, it's all ritual, because these witches and warlocks, they look at the sun and the moon and the stars, all right, to do their rituals. All right, and that's why J.P. Morgan said that it's not millionaires but billionaires that look to the stars or the heavens, right, for investments. And I'll close off on this. What did J.P. Morgan say about investing according to the stars? Yeah, astrology. Astrology. Millionaires don't use astrology. Billionaires do. All right? Okay? So this is what it is. All right? So they're looking at the astrology. They're looking at the moon, the star. They study the sky. Okay? Astro. All right? Study of astro. What does astro mean? What does astro mean? Okay, it's relating to the stars, celestial objects, or outer space. Boom. So we here. So with that, all right. Topic within topics, lesson within lessons. We're almost out of here. This devil's being exposed. All right, he's going down. The curses are fall upon him. All right. There's nothing new on the sun. What happened in Rome is happening again. And this is a sign that we're almost out of here. That's why you got to stay locked in. With that, I want to give all praise and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Wakar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai's sake. Love you, brothers. Keep it door, keep the faith, keep pushing, keep fighting, keep studying. Pray without ceasing. Pray for each other. Pray for the apostle elders. We're almost out here. For the few sisters that are watching, keep studying. When you pray, pray, cover shalom.